Hello, welcome to Theosophy in Wales. I'm Dave Marsland. Desire, the desire principle. Well, the desire principle in man, in the constitution of man, is the source of passions and emotions. It often gets a very bad press, but you do need it, and it can be a very beneficial thing if you can control it effectively. Now, it's separate from mind, although many people have a problem differentiating between emotions and mind. But to Theosophists, it's a completely separate principle from mind. And it has 7 levels, going from the lowest level, which is base negative emotions such as anger and resentment and hatred. That's down at the bottom level. And at the top, very positive emotions such as love and compassion. And again, it's something that you can work on and control to keep your positivity levels of your emotions at a high level. Now, the desire principle is separate from the mind, but it influences the lower levels of mind. And the combination of the lower levels of mind and the desire principle form the personality ego, or really the personality. And this is something you need this to deal with the world. You can't do without the desire principle. How well the mind controls the desire principle is another matter, but you can't manage without the desire principle, and your personality will last you for this life. You will not take it through to the next one. Now, the desire principle also, at its lower levels, influences the physical body, and this can cause problems. Cravings, addictions can well, it can seriously damage the physical body and make it ill, but they originated in the desire principle, although they affect the physical body and they're considered very often physical problems, but they did originate in the desire principle. And again, that's something that part of the desire principle that very often in life needs to be controlled. Now, desire can be unstable. For instance, you can make a New Year's resolution on New Year's Eve and then break it on the morning of New Year's Day. So that's a desire principle ruling the roost, really. And it can be very hard to control, and sometimes if it takes over, it can lead to things like obsession. That's the desire principle taking over, running riot. Now, it can be controlled by will. Now, will, the force of will, pervades the universe. And it emanates from consciousness. And in fact, the universe itself is the result of the higher consciousness behind the universe exercising will, which brought the universe into existence. Now, in man, the force of will comes from the higher principles through the mind. And to allow will to exercise any influence on the desire principle, the mind has to really be separated from desire to allow this to be transmitted through to the desire principle, and very often requires inner work, certainly effort. It probably doesn't just happen unless you have some benefit of inner work done in a previous life. No effort is wasted. That if you perhaps have trouble controlling your desires in this life, if you make the effort, then that will come through, the benefit will come through in a future life. But by making the effort, you can control the desire principle. And there's something to look at here. Very often there's a difference, and it can be very difficult to ascertain sometimes, between somebody who is committed to a cause or an idea, and that has come from through will from the higher principles, and somebody who is a fanatic, although fanatics actually are quite rare. But someone dedicated to a cause who makes a personal commitment to something, as really exercising will from the higher principles. The fanatic has allowed the desire body to take over and basically rule the roost by obsession. And the two are quite different. Sometimes it can be difficult, though, to differentiate. So there we are. That is very important, I think, in life. Always to make the effort to control the desire principle. It has benefits in this life, and it will certainly have benefits in future lives. Nothing is wasted. No effort is wasted. Now, after death, after physical death, the desire principle does not survive to the next life. You'll get a new one next time round. The desire principle dissolves away in the spirit realm, or the desire realm, known as karma loka, and it will dissolve away. And also at the same time, the lower levels of mind will, they're the ones that are influenced by desire, will become redundant and form a sort of shell that again is left behind. So you will lose your desires, your personality, because the desires of mind will go, lower mind will go. You'll lose your personality and go through to the second death, the state of bliss, known as David Charm. Now, this can be a difficult passage if you have a lot of earthly attachments, if you've got a lot of anger and hatred. That'll hold you back. It's very difficult for it to move on, to get rid of it and to move on through the levels of karma loka. There are 7 levels, from the densest, which is more or less hell, to the top level, which is not a bad place to be. And if you're attached to earthly possessions, power, that will hold you back. If you're angry and you have hatred and resentment, that will be a serious problem to future progress through karma loka to the next phase. Now, one of the things to note here, if you can't let things go while you're alive, it's not going to be any easier when you're dead. So most religions say let it go. Now, there are karmic reasons for that, because you can take a grudge through to a future life, but really it's very, very difficult. But if you can let it go, let go of anger and resentment, be more positive, then you will find it easier to move through the after-death states. And the advice, let it go, is really, although it's not in the cosmology very often, it's really preparing you for the after-death state. Anyway, the after-death states are not eternal. You will move through them eventually. So there we are, the desire principle. It's there. It can rule the roost, or it can be controlled. It can generate extremely negative emotions, and it can generate extremely positive emotions. But it's really up to you, although you may not feel it very often, but it's really up to you what part of your emotional body you utilise, because you can utilise it, you don't have to let it run you.